Okay, so welcome back to another tutorial. Now in the last two tutorials we talk about the for loop and the while loop, and we saw that both are slightly different with respect to the three things where we place the three things, but the functionality is the same. But in this video we'll be talking about the do while loop, which has a slightly different functionality, or which takes a slightly different approach towards getting the output. Right. So let me start with the syntax first. So this is the syntax. We have the do keyword and we have the loop body, and then we have the while at the end of the loop with a semicolon. Again the initialization is done here outside the loop, then we have the updation inside the loop, and then we have the condition in the whiles bracket after the end of the loop, right? So condition, right? Now there is a difference between the functionality, as you can see, because the placement, although it was different in the last two cases, the order was same, but here the order is different. The updation comes before the condition. So what this indicates is that even if the condition fails for the very first time, the loop will run once, right? So the body of the loop will be executed at least once, even if the condition is false in the very first time. Now we'll understand this with the help of an example. First let's try out the same statement again. So I is equal to 1, we'll say I plus plus, and before that we'll print the echo, the present value of I is, there we go, and then we have the updation here, and the condition was I is less than or equal to 10. So we'll do that. Now let's quickly run this and see what we get. Right, so we get the exact same output. Let's try the reverse one as well. So I will be 10, I minus minus, and greater than 0, right? Looking at the output, we get 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that is not an issue, both the things work similar. However, if the condition is false, let's say the value of I is 100 and the condition states that the value of I should be less than 10, right? But the value of I is 100 here, so technically this loop should not run. If you try this thing, I value 100 and the condition less than 10 in the for and the while loops, you will not get any output because the loop body will not run. But since we are dealing with the do while loop and the condition is checked after the execution of the body, we will get one output. So let's see the output first and then I'll explain you how it comes. So it will say the present value of I is 100. Now let's look at the flow of the execution. The first statement is I is 100. Okay, no problem with that. Inside the do loops body, we have the present value of I is ampersand I. Now before reaching here, we haven't checked any conditions, right? So basically this is all going in a flow. So it will print the present value of I and it will say 100. Okay, then it will increment the value of I. So now the value of I will be 101. After executing the body once, it will go to the while and then it will check the condition that I should be less than 10. But before it checks the condition for the very first time, we already have one output, right? So that is how the do while loop is different from the for and the while loops. It will run even if the condition fails for the very first time. Again, coming to our restaurants example, how we can understand this is that even if the customer does not want to order anything, you have to show him the menu at least once, right? So that is where the do while loops come in handy. They are mostly used in the menu based programs, because even if the user wants to exit in the very first go, you have to display the menu irrespective of the choice, right? So that is all about the do while loop for now, and go ahead, try it out, and I'll see you guys in the next one where we'll be talking about the for each loop, which is special in PHP, right? It does not exist in any other language. The latest version of Java did add the support for each, but C++ do not support for each. So that is going to be interesting. I'll see you guys in the next one.